right now with your quick fix for sports betting. Brought to you by OddsJam, the premier odds comparison company. Please like this show and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We got live chat available. Let's not forget, we got a couple things down below. MGM, points bet, sign-up bonuses. Get those. Underdog Fantasy, Thrive Fantasy deposit match up to $100. That's what we're doing here. We got a couple of promo codes here for you. Get 10% off your first month with OddsJam. And that is 10 Bob or Mike 10. How's that? There. Now you can see it. I took the logo off of there. All right. I'm learning, man, as I go. We got Monday Night Football ahead of us. We've got Game 5 of the ALDS between the the Guardians. I can't believe I did that. I'm sorry.
Gosh.
I'm sorry. I apologize. The Guardians and the Yankees. Hey, man.
It's not hard. It's not hard to remember the name of the team you've been saying all year long.
Please don't
You've done how many videos on this Yankees-Guardians matchup?
And I've been right in every game, okay? I'm undefeated in that series, undefeated in the Houston series. Pick the winners in every one of those games. And pick the winner in one game of the Braves series and one game of the Dodgers series. Other than that, the rest of those lost. So there's 6 losses and 9 wins. 9-6 in this playoff season, about to be 10-6 today. All right, Mike, I'm going to give you the floor here. Folks, Mike is a Chargers fan, okay? Chargers, Broncos tonight. It's a big game for his team. They can be tied for first place after tonight if they win. Mike, you have the floor. Yeah. Is Justin Herbert and company going to take over?
Well, this is a tough spot. You couldn't be feeling any worse about a team after a win than you do the Chargers, Bob. They did everything they could to give that game away to the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland, being Cleveland, decided they wanted no part of that. A little concerned there. You got a head coach who you just are not sure that you trust right now. And, you feel like Denver's due to bounce back a little bit. But Justin Herbert, in his 7 night starts, has over 300 yards each game, 20 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So he has definitely been effective. But, Bob, the Denver secondary doesn't give up a lot of touchdowns. This Broncos defense is not bad. So that will be interesting to watch there, how the Chargers plan to attack that Broncos secondary. And then the matchup is going to be Sawyer versus Bradley Chubb, Bob, the offensive tackle for the Chargers, who had to step in and face Myles Garrett last week. Garrett did get to Herbert a little bit. I know that he didn't get him on the ground, but he did get to him a little bit, and Sawyer did about as good a job as you can do. But that's definitely an interesting matchup to watch there, Bob.
Where are we at with Keenan Allen, Mike?
He won't be back. He won't be playing tonight.
How long do you think he's going to be out?
I don't know. He could be back next week, could be the next week. I don't know.
So it's kind of a week to week injury.
Yeah, that's pretty well how it's been. Yeah.
Okay. All right. They need him, obviously.
Well, obviously, but Austin Eckler's definitely a guy who's going to get some action, I think, being that Broncos defense, as I bang my stuff around here while we're live, you see it shake. I think that Eckler will get his fair share of touches, as I said. Broncos having a decent secondary.
Stephen Batts in the house. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Stephen.
Good evening to you. Now I get to go solo. All right. Let me tell you what it's all about in this game. Right. I'm telling you right now, folks, I believe that the Broncos are going to get their butts kicked tonight. Okay. I think Justin Herbert's going to tear them apart. I'm not convinced Russell Wilson is in the right place. I don't think the offense fits him. And I think, quite frankly, I think the Chargers cover with ease. That is my opinion. There you go.
Well, to your point there on the Chargers covering, they're 4-1 against the spread this year. The Broncos are 1-4, so the Chargers definitely have a shot.
Stuart Zimmerman, I'm sorry I had to crack up laughing. Bob, keep betting Braves next year. Hey, Stuart, you're absolutely right. And I was 1-3 in that series, 1-3 in the Dodgers series, but undefeated so far in the other two series. Okay. So yeah, you're right. You're right. Hey, congratulations to your Phillies. Their bullpen it performed much better than I thought they would. What about you, Mike? Don't you think so?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that was a question mark coming in. I mean, they have addressed that, and they have been dynamite. You can't argue that.
You know, Stuart, it's going to be interesting. The game one matchup favors the Padres. I mean, it just does. I got over rushing for Eckler and Gordon, says Justin Williams.
I think this Phillies Padres series does go at least 6.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tight. I think it's going to be a tight
I like
series.
both of these squads. They're both playing with house money right now, coming off of big wins against division rivals who were the division champions and had all the hype surrounding them. So this is a series of underdogs.
Padres have the X factor of Hader in the bullpen coming out and facing left-handers in Schwarber and Harper. And I'm going to tell you, Harper and Schwarber are not going to catch up to that 100-something mile-an-hour fastball. That's the only thing. I think the difference is the edge goes to the Padres in the bullpen. The matchup tonight,
okay.
Tomorrow night.
Bob's going to go over in this series. You're going to learn.
No, I'm just saying. Tomorrow night, will you let me finish? Tomorrow night, the matchup edge has to go to the Padres because of Darvish, who has had as good a year as any pitcher in the National League, and he's 2-0 in the playoffs.
Okay. Fair enough. I will say this, Bob. If we're talking about who the best pitcher has been in the playoffs, Wheeler's been pretty decent.
Yeah, no, Wheeler has. I'm not saying that he hasn't, but he doesn't have a decision yet either. A winning decision. He's actually 0-1. But I just like Darvish the way he's pitching. All right. Stephen Batsa says, should just bet on the Guardians money line if you hate the Yankees. No better time. You know what? You cannot tell me that the Yankees are going to be held in check this whole series long. At some point in time, doesn't their offense need to break out, Mike?
Yeah, that game's in a delay right now.
Right. Weather's going to be a factor. Who does it benefit? Yeah, I know.
Maybe the Guardians. I mean, just because it maybe helps them. This game is in New York. Maybe that takes the crowd out of it a little bit with the long. How depends on the long delay, how long it is. But I really think the Yankees bounce back and win tonight. But man, I'll tell you what. If we've seen a playoffs of some upsets, the Guardians certainly fit that mold. That's a team. Despite being the third seed, nobody had even sniffing the playoffs. Padres, Phillies had high aspirations entering the year. Guardians, right. What a surprise.
All right, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to look at a few bets that I made earlier today. Before we do that, there are a few plays here in the recommended filters. I got to be honest with you. I'm not touching the Broncos plus 1.5. The under 5.5 with the Bruins and the Panthers could come through if they're going to play defense. The probably the most likely one to come through would be the Hurricanes and the Kraken under 6. So I'll actually add that to my bet tracker for a half the unit. But I want to show you some of the plays that I made earlier today, and then I'm going to let Mike take completely over for this Monday Night Football game. All right. I took the Yankees on the money line. I took over 7.5 runs. That's my play tonight. That's what I picked. That's what I'm going with. I got Josh Donaldson to get a hit. I got Aaron Judge. I'm doing the over 1.5 player bases. It's hit too many times this year. I'm not giving up here. And then you got Savali over on strikeouts. Jameson over here over on strikeouts. Then I'm getting on Donaldson with an RBI, Jose Ramirez with an RBI, and Aaron Judge with an RBI. Those are my bets for today in this game. What do you think?
Yeah, like them.
Do I like the Dallas Stars as much as you tonight? I actually stayed away from that game. I'm not saying that I don't like the Stars. I'm just not, it's early in the season. Anything can happen. I just don't know if I'm really. I actually like Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg's going to. Mike, I think Winnipeg is going to surprise some people and be a better team. What do you think?
I think I like Dallas. I faded them and said they would maybe not be as good. They stopped Nashville in both of those games. Winnipeg's coming off a big win against the Rangers at home with a goaltending matchup. Rangers had their backup in, so we don't really know what this team's like on the road. I like Dallas.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to roll with if I was making a pick, which I stayed away from this game. If I was handicapping it, I would. Mike, can you believe Bob isn't on the apps tonight? Yeah.
I jump on that. I like Colorado tonight for sure.
So you think that one of the contenders, if you look for the Western Conference, one of the top 3 or 4 contenders, the Minnesota Wild, is going to start off their season 0-4.
It'd be 0-3.
No, they're 0-3 now.
Are they 0-3? I thought they were 0-2.
I believe they're 0-3.
No, they're 0-2, Bob.
So you think? Okay, so you think they're going to?
Yeah, so I think they'll go 0-3, and then you can ask me, do I think they'll go 0-2 their next game?
So you think they're going to lose 2 of their first 3 games at home?
Yeah, I don't think the Avalanche are going to lose back-to-back games.
Why?
Because Colorado's a much better team than Minnesota, Bob.
Their goaltending's not any better. You win the game with goaltending.
Didn't say goaltending. Well, what? That's it. That's all it depends upon, huh?
Fleury can steal a game.
Minnesota hadn't looked good early on.
I don't believe that the Wild are going to lose tonight. I just don't.
Yeah, you'll fade Bob. He's all over the place.
Take over this Monday Night Football, would you? If I'm right on all this stuff, I'm going to tell you, y'all better watch out tomorrow.
And if you're wrong, you better watch out. Bob, the bets I actually took Russell Wilson on his over 32.5 player passing attempts. I know that's a little risky one, but I went on ahead and took that. And then I took Justin Herbert over 1.5 player passing touchdowns. Minus 145 was the value, beating the closing line right now. I took Melvin Gordon under 53.5 player rushing yards at minus 110. Good value on that still. And I took Eckler over 4.5 player receptions plus 116. And lots of wins here recently, as you see, doing pretty good with these recommended filters plays. A lot of these are in the NFL, and you will see here as I go to my dashboard, we are up over 8,400 in profit. We've got a couple of hundred in pending bets, beating the closing line value 64% of the time, ROI 26%. And football creeping up in our profit by sport. So those are the bets that I got in Monday Night Football. Nothing else out there worth hitting right now, at least for me. There's really nothing I'll check and see here if we do have anything. I've got my recommended filters turned on. Yeah, I'm staying away from this. Broncos plus 1.5 on the point spread. No thanks on that. And that's it right now for this Monday Night Football game.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So my question to you
I like
now
this
is,
Klay Thompson play, though.
my question to you now is,
I think I like this Klay Thompson play for tomorrow night, Bob. You know we got NBA coming up tomorrow night.
exactly. And that's fine. My question to you now is, as I try to get this question out for the third time,
Okay.
do you like either Herbert or Wilson over to throw an interception?
Not Herbert.
Okay,
Maybe
so
Wilson.
Can I share my screen? Or no, you're showing the Klay Thompson play.
Yeah. I'm going to take Klay on this over 15.5 points at plus 100 on points bet. Most books kind of favoring it. One book giving you same odds across the board. Pretty good win probability. First NBA game of the regular season. Well, it'll be the second one technically, but I'm going to hit that one.
I like it. Good call.
Thanks. You interrupted me just to tell me you like it. Thanks.
All right. Can I share my screen?
You can.
All right. Thank you. All right. So I like to look beyond the positive EV page and use some of the other tools that we have in OddsJam. Okay. One of them is going to the drop down in the markets and going to the player props. Here's what we're looking at. You don't think Herbert's going to throw an interception? Fine. So you would think under, right? You can get that under at minus 135. Do you think Russell Wilson's going to throw an interception?
I'm staying away from it.
Okay. I believe he will. Now, that's just my opinion. Okay. The point here is, folks, is that we have all of these different player props here. And a lot of times they pop up on the positive EV page, but not always. Okay. So, I know, Mike, you hit player passing touchdowns over 1.5 for Herbert tonight. What about player touchdowns? Do we ever look at that? Okay. This is where we're going to go for an anytime. Is Melvin Gordon going to have a touchdown tonight?
Well, I had him in my anytime touchdown scoring video, so that's definitely a possibility.
Okay, so that's a play.
Definitely not the one I would be jumping to first.
Okay, all right. Let's look at what else we got here.
I'm sure Eckler's.
There's Austin Eckler. Now, Austin Eckler is minus 130.
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon was plus. Okay. Eckler is probably the most likely. What about Cortland Sutton? Didn't you like him as a secondary target?
Yeah, I mean, he was my kind of longer shot one. I would, that's because you just can't trust Wilson a whole lot. He's only thrown 4 touchdowns on the year.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Look at this value on Gerald Everett, man. Plus 260.
Yeah, he was my long shot pick for the Chargers. No Keenan Allen. He's certainly seen some action. And I think that when you look at how this Broncos secondary has been against, receivers in particular and not allowing them to score a lot of touchdowns, I think Everett could get a matchup in the red zone that could favor him to be targeted. And Herbert likes him a lot anyway.
Right.
Herbert's he likes Gerald Everett. We've seen him go to, you look in the Kansas City game, Bob, who did Herbert go to? It ended up being a pick 6 touchdown, right? But he looked to Everett. He knew that was his guy that game. So definitely worth looking at Everett.
Justin Williams took a parlay for over on both and a TD for both. So basically, both quarterbacks to throw an interception and a TD. Very good. Interesting stuff. All right, who's going to win tonight, Mike? Give me a winner.
I mean, if I'm just picking a winner, I will go with the Chargers at home. But if I'm picking as terms of, because there's no value for the Chargers on the money line, I'll lean the Chargers on the spread just because they're 4-1, 1-4 Denver. But it does seem like a spot you could see Denver bounce back. But I'll go with the fact that the Chargers are a better team, and they got, even though they beat Cleveland, they could not have left that game feeling like they really did something well. I mean, they about gave that game away, Bob.
I agree.
You've got to come out and really, really bring it to this Denver Broncos team, who, if you lose this game, you put them right back in the mix, and you continue to distance yourself from Kansas City, who you're going to play, coming up again, and you've already lost to. So we'll roll with the Chargers covering then.
Chargers by 7 or more. That's what I feel tonight. I just, Denver
should be.
Denver hasn't shown me.
8 out of 10 times that probably. Let's hope it's not that one or two times that it doesn't happen. I mean, we'll see.
Okay. All right. So go wild.
It's hard to pick. Alternate spread on the Chargers, says Steven Batza. I would agree with that.
Okay. All right. But what alternate spread are you going with?
I think 3 would be okay. I think the Chargers can pull this thing out. At least gives you a shot to where if they do only win by 3, it's a push.
Sure. All right. I say 7 or more. See you guys tomorrow. Lots of videos on this channel. Start watching them. Make money. I got people made money off my hockey video like crazy yesterday, Mike. See ya. Basketball tomorrow.
Yeah.